Hello guys, my name is Victor Bloodstone. Today I will be telling you guys about 5 real, spooky and disturbing horror stories of cursed carnival masks. So let's get started. Story 1. The Mask of Midnight. I'll never forget the night I found the mask. It was Halloween, and my friends and I had decided to hit up the local antique shop for some last-minute costume ideas. The store was a cluttered labyrinth of forgotten relics and oddities, the kind of place that seemed to have a life of its own. I was drawn to a dusty corner where an intricately carved mask caught my eye. It was unlike anything I'd ever seen, with dark feathers and sharp, angular features. A small tag underneath read, "Midnight Masquerade Mask." I couldn't resist. It was perfect for my costume. The shopkeeper gave me a strange look as I handed over the money, but he didn't say anything. That night, I put on the mask and joined my friends for the Halloween party. As soon as the mask touched my face, a chill ran down my spine. It felt like the mask was melding with my skin, becoming a part of me. The night started off great. Everyone loved the mask, and I felt a strange confidence wearing it. But as the evening wore on, I started to feel different. I saw things that weren't there, shadows moving in the corners of my vision, whispers that seemed to come from the mask itself. I tried to take it off, but it wouldn't budge. Panic set in. I excused myself and rushed to the bathroom, desperately pulling at the mask. My skin felt like it was burning, the mask searing into my flesh. In the mirror, I saw my eyes change, turning black as night. I screamed, but no sound came out. The mask had taken over. When I finally managed to remove it, it left deep, raw marks on my face. I threw it away, but the damage was done. I was never the same after that night. I could still hear the whispers, feel the shadows closing in. The mask had left its mark on me, and I knew it would never let me go. Story 2. The Collector's Curse. As an avid collector of masks from around the world, I prided myself on finding the rarest and most unique pieces. My collection was vast, each mask with its own story, but none were as intriguing as the one I found in a small, back-alley shop during a trip to Venice. It was exquisite, with elaborate designs and deep, red feathers. The shopkeeper warned me about its history, calling it the Cursed Carnival Mask, but I dismissed it as a marketing ploy. Back home, I displayed the mask in a prominent place in my study. From the moment I brought it into my house, strange things began to happen. Objects would move on their own, and I would hear footsteps in the hall when no one else was home. At first, I thought I was imagining it, but the incidents became more frequent and more intense. One night, while working late, I glanced up to see the mask's eyes glowing. I froze, my heart pounding. The room grew cold, and a low whispering filled the air. I stood up, intending to take the mask down, but as I approached, I felt an overwhelming sense of dread. Against my better judgment, I decided to put the mask on, curious to see if I could understand its secrets. The moment it touched my face, I was engulfed in darkness. I saw visions of a grand carnival, filled with laughter and music, but something sinister lurked beneath the surface. The revelers' faces twisted into grotesque masks of horror, their eyes pleading for help. I tried to pull the mask off, but it was stuck, as if glued to my skin. Panic set in as the visions intensified, the faces becoming more real, more desperate. I could feel their pain, their fear. It was too much. With a final, desperate yank, I tore the mask off, collapsing to the floor. The mask lay on the ground, its eyes dull once more, but the whispers continued. They followed me everywhere, a constant reminder of the horrors I had witnessed. My once beloved collection now felt like a curse, and I knew I could never escape it. Story 3. The Performer's Plight. I was a struggling actor when I stumbled upon the mask. It was at a thrift store, tucked away among a pile of forgotten costumes. Something about it called to me, its intricate design and vibrant colors promising to make me stand out. I bought it on a whim, hoping it would bring me luck for my upcoming audition. The audition was for a role in a new horror film, and I decided to wear the mask to get into character. The moment I put it on, I felt an electric surge of energy. My confidence soared, and I nailed the audition, landing the role on the spot. But with the role came a series of strange occurrences. During rehearsals, I began to lose chunks of time. I would find myself in different parts of the set with no memory of how I got there. My co-stars complained about hearing unsettling noises and seeing shadows that seemed to follow me. One night, after a particularly grueling rehearsal, I stayed behind to practice. As I donned the mask, I felt a familiar rush, but this time, it was different. The mask felt alive, tightening around my face, merging with my skin. I tried to scream, but my voice was gone, replaced by a deep, guttural growl. I saw myself in the mirror, but it wasn't me. My eyes were black, my face twisted into a sinister grin. I was no longer in control. The mask had taken over, turning me into a puppet for its dark desires. I managed to tear it off, gasping for breath as the mask fell to the floor. But the damage was done. The mask had left its mark, and I could feel its presence lurking in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to strike again. My dream role had turned into a nightmare, and there was no waking up. Story 4, The Family Heirloom. When my grandmother passed away, she left me an old, ornate mask that had been in our family for generations. She always warned us about the mask, saying it was cursed, but I never took her seriously. I was fascinated by its beauty, the delicate craftsmanship, and the air of mystery that surrounded it. One evening, while sorting through her belongings, I decided to try the mask on. As soon as it touched my face, I felt a strange sensation, as if the mask was molding itself to fit perfectly. I looked in the mirror and admired how striking it looked. That night, I had the most vivid and terrifying dreams. I was at a carnival, surrounded by masked figures who danced and laughed, but their eyes were hollow, empty. They beckoned me to join them, their voices a haunting chorus. I woke up in a cold sweat, the mask lying beside me on the bed. Over the next few days, the dreams became more intense, more real. I would wake up feeling exhausted, my body aching as if I had been physically dragged through the nightmares. I tried to get rid of the mask, but every time I threw it away, it would reappear in my room, its hollow eyes mocking me. Desperate for answers, I visited an old family friend who knew about the mask's history. She told me that the mask was cursed, a vessel for the spirits of those who had worn it. Each wearer was doomed to become part of the mask's haunting carnival, trapped in an endless cycle of torment. I knew I had to break the curse. Following her advice, I performed a ritual to cleanse the mask, hoping to free myself from its grip. As I recited the incantations, the room grew cold, and the shadows seemed to come alive. The mask writhed in my hands, as if trying to escape. Finally, with a blinding flash of light, the mask shattered, leaving me breathless and shaken. The whispers stopped, and the shadows receded. I was free, but the memories of the cursed carnival would haunt me forever, a constant reminder of the darkness that lurked within the cursed carnival mask. Story 5, The Night at the Masquerade. The night I received the invitation to the masquerade, I was surprised and a bit skeptical. It was a lavish, golden envelope with my name written in elegant script, inviting me to an exclusive, secretive masquerade ball at a grand estate on the outskirts of town. It felt surreal, like something out of a movie. I arrived at the estate, my curiosity piqued. The mansion was majestic, bathed in the warm glow of lanterns. A butler greeted me at the door, handing me a mask to wear. It was beautiful yet eerie, with dark feathers and a haunting design. As soon as I put it on, I felt a chill run down my spine. The ball was magnificent, filled with people dressed in elaborate costumes. The music was enchanting, and for a moment, I felt like I had stepped into another world. But as the night went on, an unsettling feeling crept over me. The guests moved with an unnatural grace, their eyes hidden behind their masks. I tried to blend in, but something felt off. Whenever I looked in a mirror, the mask seemed to come alive, the feathers rustling as if moved by an unseen breeze. I felt a strange compulsion to keep it on, even as the atmosphere grew more oppressive. As the clock struck midnight, the music changed, becoming darker and more sinister. The guests started to move in a more frenzied manner, their laughter turning into something more maniacal. I decided it was time to leave, but the doors were locked. Panic set in as I realized I was trapped. Desperate, I tried to remove the mask, but it wouldn't budge. It felt like it was glued to my face, the feathers digging into my skin. I ran through the mansion, searching for an exit, but the corridors seemed to shift and change, leading me in circles. In my frantic search, I stumbled upon a hidden room filled with mirrors. In each reflection, I saw not myself but different people, all wearing the same mask. Their eyes were hollow, filled with despair. I screamed, but no sound came out. Suddenly, the mask loosened, and I tore it off, gasping for breath. The room fell silent, the mirrors showing only my terrified reflection. I ran back to the ballroom, finding it empty. The guests had vanished, and the mansion was in ruins, as if abandoned for years. I fled the estate, the mask still clutched in my trembling hands. When I looked back, the mansion had disappeared, leaving only an empty field. I returned home, shaken and confused. The mask now sits in a locked box, but I can still feel its presence, a constant reminder of that night. No one believed my story. Of course, the invitation had vanished, and the estate couldn't be found on any map, but I know what happened was real. The cursed carnival mask had shown me a glimpse of a dark world that still haunts my dreams, a world that I can never truly escape. If you liked the stories, then consider liking the video and subscribing my channel, as it would motivate me to make more videos for you guys, and thank you for watching this video.